What's up, y'all? Kyle Hamilton here. I want to give a quick shout out to Lucas, Connor, and Ryan in the Week 0 podcast.
Jackson rolling out, 3rd and 7 after the penalty, and it's a completion to Kuma. He's still running. Kuma breaks free against a tired defense as the Hokies deliver the dagger here in Tallahassee. Empty.
DJ is picked off, intercepted again by Benjamin Morrison. Here goes Morrison down the sideline. Can he go? Yes, he can. Touchdown, pick six, Benjamin Morrison. Nix drops back underneath. Touchdown, Bucks. Wow. Chase Taylor.
Welcome to the Week 0 podcast, where Lucas has abandoned us for
empty
Barstool yet again. He's hoping to get hit in the head with a very big hailstone, so he doesn't have to talk about the Big Ten anymore. But obviously, as you can see, we have quite a number of people already watching. I'm sure they're all here because we got our main man Phil, Go Blue. Phil
I'm
Peters
upset.
here. I don't know why, but seeing your name Phil Peters just makes me think of like an offensive lineman kind of name. It's just like a
Damn it. I couldn't get a wide receiver.
No, that is just an average
guard, not even like a
it's
left
exactly
tackle.
it's offensive guard. You're just like just like an average guy's name. Just like
Jesus.
Phil Peters, offensive guard for
That's like a Madden generated name.
yeah,
You like the auto generated?
No, but the worst, it's just a random Madden generated offensive guard.
Wait.
Oh man,
No, it's going to be when college football 2K or the college football game comes out. That'll be like
it'll be a Phil
top
Peters.
recruit. That'll be like the top offensive guard recruit in like 2035 or something. In my team's dynasty.
Right.
But
Hey, Antoine, don't laugh at that shit.
I'm your host. Antoine's just losing his mind. But I'm your host, Connor Fear the Turtle Doherty. To my left is Ryan Wisdomless Fravel. To his left is Josh Wolverines / Logan Bryant.
Wait, what happened to Josh at Barstool?
Third time's a charm, McKnight. Third time back in Michigan because he was all on Michigan 2 years ago and backed him again this past season. And, of course, we got our main man, Phil. So, obviously, we are doing our very early kind of season predictions of the teams. I'm sure did we say we're going to do this again closer to the start of the season? We'll go back through and do maybe more in-depth, or is that something we have to do?
Nah, I think we're good because we already got UCF fans mad at us.
Yeah,
so.
yeah, we're good. Oh, by the way, if anyone doesn't follow us on Twitter already, we'll look up that tweet.
Dude, don't call Uncle Phil on me. Don't do that.
Feel free to make fun of it. I had no part in it.
I didn't make fun of you. I didn't. Yeah. No, Uncle
Oh,
Phil.
yeah, no. I'm wanting our audience to go make fun of you guys.
Yeah, no, Uncle Phil. He's
Not all of you. Phil had nothing to do with this either.
Yes.
Right.
Phil's just going to take out a what the hell is it called? I can't even think of the word, and I'm ruining the moment.
Oh God, Connor.
Don't ruin the moment.
He's gonna take out his pool cue and kick my ass at pool.
Oh, right.
What did he call it? Doesn't he call it like a name?
Lucille. He calls
Lucille. Yes, Lucille.
No, isn't Lucille from Walking Dead?
Huh?
Isn't Lucille the bat's name from Negan's bat?
Oh no, I thought it was no. I thought
No.
Lucille
He did. He said, fetch me Lucy.
Oh, okay. So it's Negan's bat and it's Uncle Phil's
and it's Uncle Phil's cue. Yeah.
All right.
Meanwhile, now I'm thinking of Gertrude, Captain Hope's car.
There's Lucas in shorts.
Lucas as returned.
You guys don't even understand what the fuck is happening right now. I'm pretty sure we're dying.
Crazy there.
I'm pretty sure I'm gonna die. Like, I'm serious. This is nuts.
Ooh, a shot at Ryan all of a sudden.
Whoa.
According to Notre Dame sources, we didn't want the Smith twins. According to Notre Dame sources.
Oh yeah.
That's exactly what. That's exactly
No.
Totally believe you.
Hey, but when we get
anyway.
hey, listen, when we get Justin Scott and Elijah rushing, then we'll be good. So
Yeah.
Elijah Rushing, he's gonna be in U of O, brother.
he is not going to Oregon. He's not going.
Yes, he is. All right.
Elijah Rushing's going to Michigan.
Oh,
he's not, but
Oh, Phil, did you hear about Cutter Boley?
I did.
Oof, you guys lost out on Cutter Boley, man. Oof.
Yeah. Well, the thing he reclassified to 24, right?
He did.
He's going to
24.
And we told Jaden Davis we wouldn't recruit another quarterback in 24.
Mm-hmm.
Okay,
So you pretty much knew when he reclassified that he was not going to go to.
Yeah.
So what we're going to do is we're just going to quickly go through each team's schedule for this upcoming season. If you want to, because we have Phil here, we can go a little bit more in depth. Give it your personal, what you think is going to be the hardest game, their maybe easiest game, and then a trap game, and then just.
And wait. So, and when we say easiest game, Phil, we meant easiest Power 5 game because we don't want people obviously a group of 5.
Yeah.
Hey, no worries here with the Big Ten.
Yeah. So they don't play. Yeah. So
at least not with Illinois.
And then just to piss off Phil, we'll have Michigan last because we saved the best for last.
Of course.
So we start off with Illinois, Ryan's favorite team.
Oh, they're not my favorite team. They're my hometown team.
He's actually a closeted Illinois fan. He just pretends to be a Notre Dame fan. So
no, I only root for
Notre
Dame loses to Marshall.
Okay. Do you guys want me to go first, or who wants to go first?
We'll go ahead with Lucas first. Work our way up.
We'll go up. All right. Okay. Put Lucas on the spot. He's not happy about it.
Yeah, because okay. 6-6. Simple enough. 6-6. I don't think they're going to be very good without Chase Brown. I think that he meant a lot to that team. It was a big reason why they were even able to win as many games as they did. I said their toughest game, I think, is going to be it's really kind of a toss-up for me between Penn State and Wisconsin because I think they're both going to be really good teams. Their easiest game that's FBS team probably –
we're actually using both Toledo and Florida Atlantic, both FBS.
They are. Yeah, they are. So I'm probably going to say Toledo, but if we're just going to go off like Big Ten teams, I'm going to go with Northwestern will be their easiest game. But yeah, 6-6 for the Fighting Illini.
Do you want to just go up? Yep.
Yeah,
all right. So
we'll go Lucas.
So I agree a lot with what Lucas had to say. I think they are. I gave them one more win. I have them at 7-5. I think the toughest game. Now, this is where we differ. I think their toughest game is going to be Iowa, because I think Iowa is going to win that. Maybe I shouldn't give that away yet, but I think their toughest game is going to be Iowa, and I think the easiest game is Northwestern. You're going to hear a lot of Northwestern on this Big Ten West side, by the way, for the weakest game.
Mm-hmm. Yep, not too much to argue with. Honestly.
Wait, real Phil, did you give your overall record prediction?
7-5.
So 7-5.
Okay.
He did. So I'm gonna side with 6-6. Just because there are plenty of question marks this year in the Big Ten West, but one of them is not Northwestern. That's going to be their easiest game. I think their toughest game is probably going to be Penn State. Just because I'm pretty high on Penn State this year. We'll see if they can chip away at just making into that upper echelon of Big Ten teams, and really not much different.
So for me, I've got Illinois at 8-4. They got a really good quarterback transfer in. Reggie Love is their backup running back. He was just as productive as Chase Brown. He's not as good as Chase Brown, but he was just as productive. Partially because Illinois' offensive line is really good. Their defense is still really stout. I think they return everybody except Sidney Brown from that defense and Witherspoon. But I think that defense is still their identity. I got them going 8-4. I think their toughest game is at Kansas because we've talked about our last show. I think Kansas is going to be really good this year with Jalen Daniels healthy. I think their easiest game is not going to be Northwestern. I think it's going to be Indiana. I think Indiana is going to be really bad this year. And then if I'm going trap game, I think at Minnesota is that trap game.
Okay. Yeah, I think I've 7-5. Now I don't think this will be the hardest game, but I think this will be the most important game, and that's the Kansas game. I mentioned this I think last week during our Big 12 that's going to be a really kind of important defining game for both teams because both teams had really successful seasons for them for historically what type of teams they usually are, especially Kansas. So that would be a defining game to decide to kind of show which team will be able to kind of continue the role that they had from last year. But I think the hardest either Penn State. Yeah, I'd probably say Penn State would probably be the hardest. Easiest Northwestern. They were terrible last year, and I think they'll continue to be terrible. And so, yeah, I got 7-5, 6-6, 7-5. I think they'll be right around there. They'll have a drop off, unfortunately. Ryan. Okay, cool. Next, we have Indiana, as we have a stupid ad.
Also an ad.
Here's this random ad that you get to look at. Cool.
I wish we were paid for that.
I wish they were paying for us.
Yeah.
Oh my God, they opened versus Ohio State. And that's something I also noticed is Illinois avoids the big three. Other than Penn State, they avoid Michigan, Ohio State, and Michigan State. So I think they can do decently okay.
Okay, I will start it off. With their record, I have 3-9. Do not think they're going to be a very good team. Toughest game is obviously going to be Michigan, especially at Michigan. Easiest game, there's really not a lot of easy games for them, but I'm going to say probably Rutgers at home be the easiest game there. But that can also be a trap game because it's sandwiched right in between some of their tougher opponents, so they could easily lose that. But I have a 3-9.
I have Indiana also at 3-9. I think they're opening up with the loss. Let's start there. They're gonna get creamed that day. Pause. The toughest game being Michigan at Michigan.
Bishop Sycamores.
Yeah, the easiest game. I'm gonna go with Low Bronem. I think Michigan State is gonna be hot basura this year, and I think that's gonna be the easiest game for Indiana.
All right.
There you go.
All right. Not much to say about Indiana football this year. Goodness. Yeah, you start out with a loss. They might bounce back against the Sycamores. Who knows? Yeah, that's a 3-9 schedule. That's what one looks like.
Yeah.
Hardest game at Michigan, obviously. And I'm gonna say their easiest game. That's not a easiest Power 5, I should say. Maybe Purdue, and that's bad.
That's bad. I got 3-9 for them too. But I as Josh said, if I could pull this up, this is what Indiana's season looks like.
That's terrible.
So here we go. Easiest game I think is going to be Michigan State. I think Michigan State's going to be hot doo-doo, kind of like what Phil said. They are Notre Dame's Lil Bronem as well. So Lil Bronem is going to be in for a hurting this year. Easiest game is Michigan State. Hardest game I think is at Penn State. Let's see. Trap game, if there is one, Akron. Because that's how bad Indiana's going to be this year. So, 3-9 for me.
Yeah, I think we're all just going to say 3-9. I think their hardest game actually will be right at the beginning of the season, having to face Ohio State to start the season. That's just absolutely demoralizing to see that. And yeah, I mean, there's really no need for me to continue to say what you guys said, because you guys have already kind of said all that I was going to say. So I'm just going to move it on.
You guys in the comment section, be sure to like and share the live.
Yeah, like, share, and subscribe. Share it with the rest of share it with their fellow Michigan fans, because we all like Michigan here, or at least all of us except Ryan.
Thanks, Connor.
Okay.
I love you too.
I love you too, bro. Okay.
Okay, let's get me to Iowa. All right, I actually disagree with Phil on what he said earlier. I think they're going to go 7-5. I still have no confidence in their offense, and especially their offensive coordinator. He will get fired because he will not hit the 21 points a game.
21 points.
He's not going to hit that, and he's probably going to be fired right around Penn State. If I had to guess.
Is it still his son?
Yes, it is. Yes, it is.
He might be fired from being a son too after.
I'm sorry, son.
I mean, he might even get fired week 1. Utah State isn't usually a team to sneeze at, so you never know. They might win it, but I don't know if they score 21 offensive points. But for toughest game, I have, again, it's either Wisconsin or Penn State. Easiest game, probably, Western Michigan. I have no idea how good that Power 5 team. What I got? Rutgers and Northwestern.
Yeah,
they play Northwestern, right? Yeah.
They're playing Northwestern at Wrigley.
Yeah, both of them. So 7-5 for the Hawkeyes, and yes, I do think that their offensive coordinator gets fired.
The newly fighting Cade McNamara's former Michigan.
Oh, that's where he went. Oh god.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
So
that's why I think things are going to be good.
Phil, we definitely need your thought on that.
It is part of the reason I think they're going to be good. I think, first of all, let me say this, because this one is one that I actually wanted to speak about and spend a little time with. Okay, Cade McNamara is the most important player in Michigan modern history. It was going to be very bad. There is no 2021 season if it's not for Cade McNamara. I want to get that clear, right? I do think JJ is an upgrade. I think JJ is better, but Cade McNamara steadied the ship after Joe Milton in that disaster in 2020. All right. That being said, Cade McNamara is the reason that I believe that Iowa wins the Big Ten West. I think they go. I think I have them at 10-2. I have them with losses at Penn State because you don't go there and win very often. And that may be the whiteout game now that, Fox screwed up, which should have been the whiteout game. And then I have them losing, and this one's kind of shocking, but I have them losing at Nebraska at the end of the season. It's just one of those games. Now, and if they don't lose that, then obviously 11-1. All right. So the reason I also think that they're going to be good, they have a great tight end now in Eric All, at least one that is decent. Now, granted, they always have good tight ends, so it's not he's just adding to that tradition. But they also got Caleb Brown, former wide receiver for the other state. He never really saw the field there, but he is a former 4-star recruit. And I think they're gonna be able to score these 21 points per game. If they would have scored 21 a game last season, I forgot the number, but it was some, they win a bunch of games that they
were the college football version of the Denver Broncos last year.
Yeah, I was about to say, because if the Broncos averaged 17 or 18 points per game last year, they would have been like 12-5 last year.
The playoffs, which is insane.
I've got the toughest game being obviously Penn State. I talked about that, and I think the weakest game is Northwestern. I believe they played Northwestern. Yes, they do. Northwestern, obviously, the easiest game, and that's going to be a trend here. Wisconsin is a big game for Iowa because I think that decides a lot of what's going to happen in the West, but I do give Iowa the nod.
Josh?
All right. I'm pretty high on Iowa, but not as high as Phil. So I'm seeing 9-3 here. I just because you get good players doesn't mean they're going to plug and play very well. And I know what good players look like under bad OCs. We had something happen last year at Kentucky, and I don't want to talk about it. But, let's go through it. Hardest game.
I'll give you a hint. State. Wisconsin.
Hardest game at Penn State. I do think they lose at Wisconsin, and maybe even at Nebraska. But Nebraska's got to prove something to me before then. Honestly, better year for Iowa than last year, and definitely a better offense.
I'm exactly in agreement with Josh. I think 9-3. The chat was asking for specific losses. I think Penn State, Wisconsin, and that Illinois game are all losses. That's our 9-3 for me. I think their hardest game is obviously at Penn State. Their easiest game for me is Rutgers. And then trap game, I think that that Iowa State game, I know it's a rivalry, but in Ames, rivalry game week 2, would not be surprised if Iowa State got an upset. And I think Iowa State's going to be dog water this year, but we always know how rivalry games go.
First team to 12 wins that game.
Yeah, that's how it was last year. There was one touchdown in the entire game.
Wasn't it like 7? Wasn't it?
It was 12-9.
Oh, okay.
What happens if their offensive coordinator? What happens when they score like 20 against Utah State? Does he just give him like he's like okay?
He gets an extension.
A win. Say it's 20-0 because their defense is good. Say it's 20-0. Do they like? Is he like? Well, I mean, the contract does say 21.
Yeah, he gets an extension. Maybe. So, I mean, I don't know. Apparently, you guys are really high in Iowa. I mean, I'm not going to, I'm going to quickly go through. Yeah, probably I guess 8-4, 9-3. Maybe the only other loss could be that Iowa State. You just never know with rivalry games. But like you said, Penn State, Wisconsin, and could be Illinois if it is a third loss. But I just want to quickly get on.
Hey, I'm just glad
you guys have already.
all agree.
Me being at the end is not. You guys are just kind of repeating what I would be saying, but I'm also coming in completely unprepared because I'm.
You should just wrap it up then.
I'm wrapping it up.
Wrap it up
really quick. That I forgot what I was gonna say, but
darn it!
Damn it! Damn,
What a horrible tragedy!
Shut up, Josh from Barstool.
I saw that tweet and I had to come back down here. There was some nonsense going on.
The turtles.
Josh,
Here
the
Terps.
Here the turtles. Okay, I will say
one of the most. I like their flag, honestly.
It is pretty cool. I did see that they're actually putting Terps on the side of their helmets as their full-time helmet now, which is pretty cool instead of
the
original
like the cursive
Terps,
Terps.
the OG Terp helmets. Oh,
which is pretty cool.
Yeah.
Hold on. Who said that last? Oh, never mind.
Wait, real quick. Is
Talia
back? Right. Or was he?
Yes,
Talia is back.
So he's like a seventh-year senior?
Huh? I think he's only
it's a COVID
redshirt junior.
Yeah, he's not a senior yet.
He's been there for like ever.
No. You're thinking of the other tongue of violin guy.
No.
Tongue of violin.
This is gonna be his third season at Maryland. So
really, I thought he was a senior already.
Okay,
all those tongue of violins.
Tongues of violins.
Tons of violins, dude.
Okay.
I thought it was crazy that that Tua would have gone to Oregon, but they were too late to offer him. He had already committed to Bama, so he was going to go to Oregon. It's kind of crazy. Anyways, Maryland, I have 7-5, because they actually have 5 really easy games on their schedule, being Towson, Charlotte, Virginia, Michigan State, Indiana, Northwestern, and Rutgers.
Yeah, that's what I was going to ask real quick. Do you think it's conceivable they were 5-0 going to that Ohio State game, or not too much out of the realm of possibility?
That's exactly what I have. Yeah, that's exactly what I have. But then I have them losing their toughest games, being Ohio State, Illinois, Penn State, Nebraska, and Michigan.
That's a brutal middle of their schedule at Ohio State.
But I think 7-5. I think 7-5 is honestly their ceiling.
Well, I mean, they were what 8-5 last year, and I think they were either 7-5 or 8-4 going in. They were, I think, 8-4.
The thing is that the one thing we know about Maryland is they'll always start out the season like 4-0, 5-0. Lose a tough game to like Ohio State or Penn State.
It'll be like a close ass game against Ohio State, and then
their season just falls apart.
The Michigan game last year, where they could have easily have won that game. I'm sure Phil was crapping his pants during that game.
Well, last year
I was never worried.
I was never worried.
Shut up.
I call BS.
The only game I was worried about for Michigan as a secondary
Illinois.
Michigan fan. It was Illinois. It was the only game I was worried about.
My butt cheeks puckered a little bit for Illinois. Especially, I'm gonna tell you why though, because I talked so much crap that week to Ryan actually, who was picking Illinois. I was like, we're gonna run them out of the building, and then what happened. So I was gonna disappear off the internet if we lost that game.
Oh no! All right, Phil.
So for me, Maryland, I think, has a ideal schedule, and they can go 8-4. I have them at 8-4. I think they can even etch out a 9th win, but just because it's Maryland, I didn't give them the 9th win. I think they are good enough to have that 9th win, but it's Maryland, so I'm gonna stick with 8-4. I think again, toughest game is at Ohio State, just because it's at Ohio State. Easiest game is Northwestern, but yeah, both Rutgers and Northwestern at or away. So Northwestern's the easiest game. The game that I think is a trap game for them is Nebraska, because Nebraska, I feel like, is going to be a a tricky opponent for a lot of people. They played a lot of people pretty close last season, but I think that's the one to look out for. Virginia, maybe. Actually, no, they're going to crush Virginia.
Virginia was the worst.
Yeah.
It's going to be the worst in the ACC.
So I think 8-4. They're going to run through. They might go 5-0 before they get to Ohio State. So there's that.
I completely agree. The first half of their schedule is extremely favorable. I don't see them losing a game until Ohio State. And then I think their season kind of falls apart. I will give them 7-5, 8-4 kind of season here. I just feel like they're going to drop a game that they shouldn't. So give me like 7-5.
That's kind of what they do.
Yeah.
I'm actually now that I know
game, Northwestern. Go ahead.
Now that I know Talia's back, I'm gonna go 9-3. I think 9-3, and this is why. And Phil, take this for what you want. I think they upset either Michigan
or Penn State
Ohio State or Ohio State.
LOL.
Yeah, I saw you.
No.
Mike, Phil.
No. Wait, let me rephrase it.
Ohio State.
They upset either Ohio State, Penn State, or Michigan. One of those three games they upset.
I could see them play one of those games close.
That's kind of what they always do. They'll play
I'll be at the Michigan game. I'll be at the Michigan game live.
I'm not hoping, Phil. Let me tell you, I'm not hoping they do that to you guys. I'm out of the three. I think it's less likely that they upset Michigan because I think Michigan's that good. But I think with how good Talia is, Maryland will find a way to win one of those games.
Somebody said this Notre Dame guy.
Notre Dame guy.
Jason's not happy.
Wasn't that the same? Wasn't that one of your comments on your other video?
Oh man.
Oh, okay.
Okay. As a pseudo Maryland fan growing up, being from that state, I was more of a basketball fan than a football fan for them. But I do kind of still root for them. I do agree that I think they easily could be 5-0 going to the Ohio State game. There is always a game every year. They always have this ever since they've joined. It's always either Ohio State, Michigan State, or Penn State, where it's always a close game that comes down to the wire that Maryland just is unable to finish out. There was that one.
They had both of them last year, Ohio State and Michigan. They both.
Well, the one that immediately comes to mind is 2 or 3 or 4 years ago.
Ohio State
at home, where Anthony McFarland literally had three touchdown runs over 50 yards against Ohio State.
They kept running the same play. It was all tackle.
Didn't Maryland have a big lead in that game as well and blow it?
I think it's pretty back and forth, actually.
No, they were after halftime. They were up a touchdown at halftime and got a pick six on Ohio State's first drive. So I think they were up 14 or 17 at one point, and then they lost on a 2-point conversion.
Couldn't stop a nosebleed though.
Down by 1 point they missed a wide open receiver in the end zone on 2-point conversion to try and win the game in overtime. So that's their thing, and that's where I do think that they could be, if they're finally able to get one of those upsets. I think 8-4, 9-3 is on the table. The one thing that they do have is Penn State, and Michigan at home. That at least Maryland can be pretty raucous when the team's good. So I do think I think they could give me 8-4 for now, but I hope they could pull one of those upsets, but finally get it together. But I think Michael Locksley at the same time has got the team going in the right direction.
And you know what's crazy about Maryland is, I just thought about this last year and the close games against Michigan and Ohio State down the stretch. Mm-hmm. Maryland played with an injured Talia Tagovailoa. He got injured in both games on the key drives for that game, for both games. So
even with that, Tualia broke the school record for passing yards, touchdowns, passing yards and touchdowns.
It's just, what the thing with the Maryland is, Maryland would be a legit Big Ten contender if they had an offensive line that could protect Talia. That he gets killed in the pocket every single game. Like Michigan, absolutely murdered him, and so did Ohio State.
Yeah.
If he had an offensive line, that kid would be a Heisman Trophy candidate.
Phil,
That is
do
how
you
good
want to do Michigan, or do you actually want to save Michigan for last?
Let's say Michigan for last.
Let's say the best for last.
Yeah, we can save it.
Best
Save
for
Michigan for
last.
last.
Save the viewers.
We'll save the viewers for what they really want. Try and build it up because
Got to keep
we
them
were
here.
over
If
30
we
at
gave
one
them what they
point.
wanted right off the bat, they'd leave.
We had 30, we were like 30 at one point. Okay, here's
Number one should have been Michigan.
State. Did you know that Richmond is the only school in all of college football that is named after, I think, an insect? Either that, yeah, I think that's correct.
Oh, man.
That's crazy.
Party's
That
down
changes
bad.
everything.
It changes so much. Man,
I had no idea.
Geez, they got
they're gonna get murdered.
they got 3 tight end transfers this year. That's kind of interesting. I actually do have them. have them at 6 and 6. I know you guys are probably gonna have them at first.
Really?
But,
Really? Wow.
Central Michigan, Richmond. I actually have them beating Iowa because I do not think Iowa's going to be good.
Just hating on
Rutgers,
Man.
Rutgers. I kind of am eating my words on this Nebraska pick, but I'm still giving. I'm not going to change anything that I already made. So Nebraska and Indiana are their wins. Losses to Washington, Maryland, Michigan, Minnesota, Ohio State, and Penn State. I think their toughest game actually is going to be against Washington. I do think Michigan is really, really good, but I just think having Washington so early in the season is just going to really, really hurt their chances.
They might get what Tennessee did to LSU early in the season.
It's gonna be something. It's gonna be something like that. It's gonna be something like that. It's gonna be a really, really bad game.
My question is, why are we seeing all these rivalry games other than the ones that are established as being early in the season, like Iowa State? Why are these games?
They don't matter anymore. Phil, I think Phil talked about this. Phil talked about this before, where they just don't mean anything to college football anymore for some reason.
4-8. That's all.
I can definitely see 4-8. 6 and 6 was just 6 and 6 was a rough one for me. I know I'm gonna get attacked by a bunch of Michigan fans. But 6 and 6
the 29 Michigan fans that are currently watching that are about to
6 and 6 is my full unbiased opinion. They got a kicker named Jonathan Kim. He's 6 foot 210. I think they're gonna be pretty good.
He said they got a kicker. No, I get it though. I get it.
Hey, somehow
that's what they're hanging their hat on because
yes,
the
sir.
quarterback?
It's just like Ravens fans in 2015
No,
being able to
Phil.
hang their hat on Justin Tucker being the best kicker in the league.
Somehow Michigan State is going to be better than they were last year record-wise because they got rid of Peyton Thorne and Keon Coleman, right?
Man,
What was their record last year?
I think they were 4-8. I think
5 and 7 maybe. Somebody in the comment section, I know somebody knows it. What was their record last year?
Phil, do you want to go? Do you want to go last, or do you want to go next?
really quick. Phil, this question's for you. Will they beat
quarterback-
Central Michigan?
Probably. I think they'll beat Central Michigan. I think
Their quarterback is going to end up being Westland, Oregon's Sam Levitt.
Did you say Westland, Oregon, or Western Oregon?
Westland,
Oregon.
home of the Fighting Chalsonans.
That's terrible.
That's where he's from.
That's
Okay.
terrible. That's right, Charles.
Jason is saying they were 5 and 7.
All right,
This man was a bona fide scrub. He can't play.
Oh my.
To be
goodness.
fair, I do think
these guys out on Lobel now.
I do think that just about anybody is a better upgrade than Peyton Thorne, because even though he had some ups last year, but he had way more downs.
This man was
Lucas.
a bona fide scrub. He can't play.
I
right.
agree.
Lucas, even your highlights would make you better than Payne Thorne from high school, probably.
That's terrible.
Okay, all right. Ryan, cut it out. We've had enough.
Okay.
Connor, you should probably go next.
You want me to go next? So Phil will go last on Michigan State.
Okay, all right. We'll go up and we'll go down. Tell him, Charles.
We'll skip Phil. This is how we'll go as well. So, okay.
How do you say this guy's name?
We got a hell of a long time.
Antoine.
It's Antoine.
It's Antoine. How do you not know this?
You got a hell of a long
I'll take 5.
Oh, Jesus.
I'll take 5 and 7 wins. Central Michigan, Richmond, Rutgers, Indiana, and maybe Nebraska. Maybe 4 and 8. But other than that, I don't know enough about the team. So 4 and 8. Hardest game will be Ohio State or Michigan at home, and Phil will continue to hope that he dropped the ball. It does not continue. Some big old people.
Oh my gosh!
So they got wait.
What do you think, buddy?
Okay, first of all,
Texas is back, folks. Not this time. You're wrong. We're back.
Who played that? Who played that?
He talked about Texas.
take his privileges. I want to point out that one of their tight end transfers is 6'7", which is ridiculous. But they got 3 transfer tight ends and a tight end recruit. Dude, they're gonna be loaded at tight end. You better watch it.
They're like the Baltimore Ravens having 5 tight ends. They're gonna have 3 of them on the field at one time,
right?
That 6'7" tight end's gonna be dying over the middle of the field. Ryan.
All right, I got really quick. I got 2 and 10 for Will Bronham.
Oh my god,
it's gonna be a rough year.
No,
wow.
They lose. I think they beat Central Michigan, which is a stretch. But they beat Richmond, and they don't win another game for the rest of the year. That's how bad I think Will Bronham is gonna be.
Wow, Phil's losing his mind right now.
If they do go 2 and 10. If they do go 2 and 10, is Mel Tucker the worst hiring, worst extension of all time? It has to be the worst extension of all time.
Okay,
in the history of sports.
So here's mine. All right, 2 and 10.
Trap game.
There you go.
And it's just because I know how this is gonna go.
Their trap game is their bye week.
They might even lose their bye week. Guys.
No, you know what's going to happen?
Focus up here.
You'll ask
All right.
It's just like the SEC short I watched earlier. Vegas has me at a 7.5-point dog to my bye week.
Guys, come on. All right. So we got Central Michigan. We got Richmond. Okay. Central Michigan might even be a dogfight. We don't know right now. Okay. We got Central Michigan. We got Richmond. Washington. There's right? Maryland, they're going to beat them. Iowa, they're not going to score. Rutgers, they do have that bye week before Rutgers, so maybe 3 and 9. Michigan, no. At Minnesota, no. Nebraska, no. At Ohio State, no. At Indiana, because Ohio State has just taken your soul from you in a football game, you're going to lose at Indiana too. And then Penn State's just going to put you out of your misery.
No,
you're going to look at that. You're going to look at that Penn State game and be like, "Well, it was
Josh,
nice playing this year."
I think their soul gets taken in week 3, and then I think their players and their fans are like, "All right, we're a basketball school. It's basketball season, everybody."
Ryan's over here like
Tom Izzo.
1-0, 2-0, body.
Look, not gonna lie, Wisconsin actually might beat them like 80-7.
1-11, they upset Ohio
it's an extension.
Looks like he gets an extension. He gets another extension top that just for beating Ohio State.
Oh man, this is good stuff.
Here, let's hear it. Let's hear it, Phil.
Comment section.
So
God.
I mean, obviously, I have no love for those vile, disgusting Spartans.
The
And
fighting Draymond Greens.
right,
Quite literally the fighting Draymond.
and they're going to be fighting for their life this year. Trust me. So they can't really get their coach fired, unfortunately, because the people paid him a lot of money, unless they want to just throw that money away. And in college football, that doesn't really happen too often. But if there ever was a time to fire someone that you paid $95 million, it will be after this season. So I have them also winning. I'm going to be generous. I have them winning 3 games. They're going to start 2-0, like everyone pointed out. And then I think they can pick up that Rutgers win because Rutgers is also actually, I don't want to disrespect Rutgers too much because Greg Schiano has been there now for a few years and things are going to start to turn around there. But I'm going to give Lil Bro Nim that win. Poor Lil Bro Nim. Now, the thing is this. I think they're going to play the best game of the season against us, actually. They're going to, if they have to go line up Plaxico Burress and Mel Tucker himself has to get on the field, they're going to try everything. They're going to blow their load against Michigan. Pause. And it's just not going to be enough, obviously. And like Ryan said, their soul will be taken week 3. The following week, someone's going to set it on fire. The week after that, they're going to put it in the dumpster. Rutgers is going to do their best to try to help them locate their soul. We then will rip it to shreds and throw it about the earth. It's going to be bad. By the end of the season, there's going to be no shred of Lil Bro Nim.
The fighting Jalen Watts Jackson.
So I actually agree now that like back then when Michigan State beat Michigan, they sold their soul for that. That they sold, like they basically just sold their soul for that one win, and now they won't ever win another Michigan State game.
Like they were Mel Tucker was at that cliff with Peyton Thorne. Put a tear on his eye. Right.
You talking about the public punch game?
Yeah. When Kenneth Walker is like, I spent 1 year there, I'm out.
Right.
More and more we talk about these Big Ten teams, the more and more I remember that Oregon's beat all their asses last time they played them. So
oh my god,
it makes me so happy.
Right.
All right,
okay.
Minnesota.
We're talking about
Minnesota. I actually don't have a lot of teams not bowl eligible because I do think that they're gonna actually have decent teams in the Big Ten this year. So Minnesota I have at 6-6. Losses to Nebraska, North Carolina, Michigan, Iowa, Ohio State, and Wisconsin. Wins to Eastern Michigan? Yeah, Eastern Michigan, Northwestern, Louisiana, Michigan State, Illinois, and Purdue. I don't really know too much what to think about Minnesota this year. I know somebody in the chat said that they had a pretty good spring game, so they might be a sneaky team in the Big Ten. I'm not really sure. I know that they do not have. I don't believe Muhammad Ibrahim is there anymore.
No, he graduated, I think.
So they're not going to have him. Obviously, Bucky Irving is at Oregon. So they won't have one of their other guys that was good when Muhammad Ibrahim was hurt 2 years ago. But I wouldn't be surprised if Tanner Morgan was still there. Where is he at?
I don't even think he was a starter last year.
I'm pretty sure he started.
I remember
pretty sure he's been there.
They had some weird guys starting for them last year.
2 or 3 weeks had the number 1 offense in the entire country.
I swear Tanner Morgan was like a Stetson Bennett of Minnesota. Like he was there for like a million years.
Yeah, he's a Steelers backup or something.
Oh, is he? No,
He lost his job. Tanner Morgan lost his job to redshirt freshman Ethan Kalimanakis.
Nice name.
Mm.
That's a creative player.
That's a Minnesota.
Yeah, so I just have middle of the pack, 6-6.
Okay. I have Minnesota going 8-4. I think that I just believe in the coach. I think he's a really good coach.
Jay Fleck,
They've got some pretty impressive transfers in the transfer portal as well. I think they go 8-4. I think they have losses to North Carolina. That's a loss. They have losses to Michigan and Iowa. And then there was another loss here somewhere because according to this, that's 9-3. Oh, yeah, the other state. There we go. So those are the losses for them. Wisconsin, I think, is going to be a really good game. But I gave the nod to Minnesota. And I could be wrong about that. I just feel like Minnesota is going to be decent.
Lucas, I think this is aimed towards you.
Hey, they also got a kicker in the transfer portal.
There you go.
Right.
Man, that totally can. Hold on. Let me calculate that into 7-5. I think Minnesota is going to have a decent year. I think they're going to go out there. They're just going to give it their darndest. And honestly, I think we're going to crack a couple of cool ones, go out for a rip. I got them Golden Gophers going 7-5. They're going bowling.
They're going bowling, bud. They're going bowling.
They're going ice fishing as well?
Definitely going ice fishing.
Definitely ice fishing.
That was too good.
November 25th. It's a little early in the season.
That was too good.
You just didn't do that.
Now you have to do that.
No.
You have to do that voice more.
Okay.
You just didn't,
right,
Josh. You didn't do the dare, bud. You got to do the dare, bud.
Well, I didn't do there, bud.
Dare, bud.
All right, so I got Minnesota going 5-7.
Burned a hole in my code. It's pretty new there. Oh, yeah. Well, they do sound like that further up, but yeah.
I got Minnesota going 5-7. I think their easiest game is Michigan State. I think their toughest game is at North Carolina. And then trap game, if I had to pick one, Louisiana, because Louisiana is always one of the best group of 5 teams, and the Sun Belt is always the fun belt. So, there goes the Gophers.
Yeah, I think 7-5 is fair. That's definitely. I think that's. North Carolina, Michigan, Ohio State, and either Illinois or Wisconsin. That'll make it either 4 or 5. Obviously, losing Mohim Ibrahim will definitely hurt, or Mo Ibrahim will definitely hurt. But like I said, they had a really good offense for most of last year, so we'll see. Okay, some dude's talking about LSU for some goddamn reason.
In the chat, let me see.
It's because Ryan's wearing a purple shirt.
LSU will be dangerous this year.
He's an LSU fan at heart.
I agree.
Me? No, I'm a Lakers fan.
Ryan loves Chip Kelly. He absolutely adores him.
It's definitely Brian Kelly.
He's
no.
Anyway,
last week.
Sorry.
Good.
No, but Lucas loves Chip Kelly.
Who's next?
Nebraska.
Yeah, because he can't beat the Ducks.
That's terrible.
All right, Nebraska. My tone for Nebraska has changed a little bit since I've done these because I didn't realize that Jeff Sims is going to be the quarterback next season. And I do like Jeff Sims a lot.
Georgia Tech fans don't.
From Georgia Tech. Well, Georgia Tech fans don't have a lot to be happy about.
That's putting it mildly.
I think
having your brother in
Nebraska.
jail.
I have Nebraska going 7-5 this next season. First year under Matt Rule. Wins Minnesota, NIU, Louisiana Tech, Illinois, Northwestern, Maryland, and Iowa. I do have them actually losing to the Fighting Deion Sanders in week 2 in Colorado. Do I think we'll get to it next week, but I don't think Colorado's going to be that good anyways. But I do have them losing that game, and then Michigan, Purdue, Michigan State, and Wisconsin. I think it's just going to be kind of a building year for Matt Rule, and then we're going to see him actually explode the year after and have a really good season. I don't think they exist.
That's horrible.
Yeah, so I got Nebraska 6-6. Lucas, what did you say their record was going to be?
7-5.
Yeah,
Jason, they don't exist. There is no such thing as a Rutgers fan.
I've got them at 6-6. I have them actually beating Colorado, which although I did see Colorado is killing it in the transfer portal, but I don't think they're going to be very good this year. So I have them with I think they lose game 1 at against Minnesota at Minnesota, and then they go on a 3-game win streak, lose to I don't need to go down to all of them. So I think the toughest game is going to be Michigan, and the easiest game is going to be Northwestern. A trap game for them, obviously, is Illinois, which I also have them losing to. So I'm not sure if that's a real trap game. It's probably not doesn't qualify as a trap game. Trap game, Colorado.
All right, not bad. I'm going to agree with the record prediction, but I'm going to change how they get there. Okay, so I think their trap game is going to be Northwestern, which is surprising because Northwestern is going to be dog water. But who's the one team that Northwestern beat last year?
Right. In Dublin.
I mean, I feel like there's you know, that monkey on his back. They got to get that off of there. They got to win that game.
Right.
They get a whole bye week to prep for it. We'll see. Yeah, 6-6. Losing to Minnesota. Beating Colorado. I think Colorado is going to be hot dog water this year. You can pick and choose on your way down, but they're not going to beat Michigan. They're not going to beat Maryland. They're not going to beat Wisconsin, and they're not going to beat Iowa. Put the other ones where you want. Easiest game. Colorado.
All right. So for me, I got them at 7-5, same as Lucas. I think it's going to be a building block year for Matt Rule in his first year. If I'm going toughest game, I think their toughest game is obviously Michigan. Easiest Power 5 game, I think, is going to be Michigan State. Trap game, though, I would say at Colorado. Not because Deion is a good coach or anything, but because
Prime time, man.
it's a rivalry game. That's why.
But because what?
I believe that's a rivalry game, isn't it? Colorado, Nebraska?
What?
Yeah.
Oh, man.
You're talking about Tommy
Back in the
Frazier.
day, maybe.
Put that last
Well, that's what
comment
I'm
up.
saying. Like back in the day, it was kind of like Notre Dame, Miami. It's considered a rivalry, but it hasn't really been a rivalry in a long time.
Man, I don't know. I don't know.
Go to sleep in Lincoln
don't
and not
know.
lose that game.
Nebraska's not that
Go
good
to
this year.
sleep.
See, Michael. See, this is the guy that always comments. He's a Notre Dame fan, dude. I love you, Michael. You're a Notre Dame brother, but some of the stuff you say, I just can't support.
If you're saying stuff that Ryan can't support, then you're saying some.
That's all I have to say to him.
This man was a bona fide scrub. He can't play.
You're saying some crazy stuff.
That's
All right.
Jason is scared. Man.
I think it could be 6-6. I think trap game could be Colorado. Not because of how I think of what I think of Dion as a coach, but also the altitude. That's over a mile. That'll be tough probably. And also being on the road 2 straight games to start the season. Other than that, Michigan is probably the hardest game actually on the schedule. So yeah, I'd say 6-6 or 7-5. Okay, let's try and hurry these up.
Yeah, we all agree on that one.
Yeah, once we go to Northwestern, I think it'll be pretty quick.
This one's easy.
I actually have them winning 2 games this year.
Northwestern wins a football game in the United States.
I know.
Holy crap, Lucas.
I do think I'm pretty sure UTEP actually had a decent season last year, but I do have them beating UTEP. And then I have them beating Howard. So congratulations, Northwestern.
You beat a bunch of minors and a guy named Howard.
You're not only smart, but you still suck at football. So UTEP and Howard, I hope you enjoy those 2 victories. They actually have a pretty tough schedule.
Yeah, it's pretty unfair actually for them.
It's not fair at all. I mean, they could beat Rutgers week 1. It's very possible, but I mean, Duke is one of the better ACC schools. And then obviously Minnesota, Penn State, and then the second after their bye week, it's like you're taking on a bunch of, decent teams for sure. So 2-10.
So let me ask you that. Oh, beating Howard. So do you guys think that Duke is going to be one of the better ACC teams this year?
I think we had them at I think we had them 7-5. I'm not sure if we had them being as good as they were last year when they were 8-4, 9-4.
So I'm then going to, because doing this the other day, I have them at 3-9, and I gave them a win at Duke.
Ryan has something to say about that.
I'm gonna take that win back. I'm gonna give them 2-10, and I'm gonna give them the same because other than Duke, I had them winning against UTEP in a nail biter, and then I had them beating Howard, which shouldn't be as suspenseful, but who knows?
Lucas, you were high on Duke too.
Yeah, so 2-10.
It's North Carolina over Duke any day.
Okay.
I'll never support the Dookie boys.
How many natties does North Carolina?
I'll never support the Dookie boys.
No. Say it right, Lucas. It's puke. Okay. So, oh my goodness, Northwestern football schedule. Goodness. So what I get from looking at this football schedule is Northwestern is going to be a good enough football team to beat up on some minors and a guy named Howard.
And then massacre the remaining bison in the country.
I mean, apparently it was pretty easy back in the day. You just shot him with a rifle. They didn't even try to run away.
I was trying to think, what's Cam Newton's younger brother's name? Because he was at Howard when they beat UNLV, and I couldn't think of his name.
Oh, I don't know. Last name is probably Newton.
By the way, I don't know if you guys heard this. Speaking of Cam Newton, this is really quick. Cam Newton might be one of the most underrated college football players of all time, as nobody on that 2010 Auburn team that he won a national championship for went and did anything in the NFL. And
this man was a bona fide scrub. He can't play.
I know you.
The guy, there was one offensive lineman who started one game on that team. Other than that, he grew up a bunch of scrubs.
That is pretty crazy, but who on that Oregon team
Oh my
started
God.
in an NFL game. Just
Boo.
saying.
Boo.
Anthony
Boo.
Thomas.
Anyways, 2-10.
Who is
D'Anthony,
Michael
Tom-
James.
D'Anthony
Michael
Thomas
James.
wasn't on that team. Michael
LaMichael
James never
James.
started an NFL game.
Yes, he did. He started for the Niners.
No, he did not.
I swore he played for the Niners.
Well, he played.
He
and
did.
was in the-
He
played
did.
I
in the-
swore
he
he
didn't
played
start.
in an actual NFL game.
I'm sorry, I started something.
Yeah.
You did.
No,
You did
we're
start
not doing
something.
an argument.
You did start
Phil.
something.
Hey, this
I
is
am
doing
arguing.
this.
I am
Who's the
arguing
head-
because
who's the
I just
quarterback? Who's
recently
the
watched
quarterback
this.
for
It was-
that Oregon team.
It was Darren Thomas. Exactly. You have no idea.
No idea.
You said Derek Thomas. I'm like, he's a linebacker. I don't know who that is.
But Cam, okay, outside of Oregon, right? Because obviously they weren't very good either. Cam
Hey, they
did
played
beat-
in the
good-
championship together.
beat Alabama, right? That was a good team. He beat some good teams that year.
The Cam back. Well, that wasn't AJ McCarron's. Or who was that? Who was the?
It was AJ.
It
That was
AJ.
AJ.
Yeah.
Dude, I don't know why, but up until like Tua and Jalen, I can't remember any Bama quarterbacks.
Guys,
They were
I know this.
You can't
this
remember the
is
greatest
guys,
Alabama quarterback of all time, Jake Coker?
guys.
Oh, right, Jay.
No. You mean the greatest Alabama quarterback of all time, AJ McCarron, who should have been the XFL MVP?
God, he
That is
was.
true.
Guys,
They
okay.
should have been.
Okay, I know we don't want to talk about Northwestern's football
Can we just
schedule
say
because it's
2 and 10 and
2-10.
just move
Let's
on?
just go. Let's
Yeah.
move
Hey,
on.
2-10.
Yeah,
2
we're
and
doing
10.
good.
Move on.
Yeah, 2-10.
All right.
Good job, Northwestern. You won a
Okay.
game on.
Here
US
is
The other
Satan
state.
for
The other state.
Ohio State for.
I don't think we got to talk about this one. I don't think we got to talk about this one long either. I mean, I think it's pretty much 11-1.
Mm.
Like
They beat Notre Dame and they lose
10-2.
to.
I
They
think
beat
it's 11-1. I think they lose the last game of the season. And
Actually?
that's about that. I mean, I do think that, see, here's the thing is I hope Notre Dame wins because we're going to be there. And I think that would be electric and we'll rush the field. We'll rush the field and I think it'll be amazing.
Does Notre Dame rush fields?
You literally wait, hold on. Roll the tape because Lucas literally predicted Notre Dame would upset.
No.
Ohio State in the last
He
one,
said
Notre Dame
he
thing.
said he would love it.
Ryan,
I
No,
would
he
love it.
predicted
Rush
it.
fields.
I want it to happen. I want it to happen. I said this. I
'Cause
want it
never
to
got to rush
happen.
a field at
But
Virginia
I do
Tech.
not.
I'd love to do
But
that.
I do. Well, I'm not surprised, Connor.
They did,
Virginia.
they did it when they beat UNC a few years ago. So
Hey, hey,
is-
Ryan, Dallas fan has effectively destroyed your comment section here as people are attacking him in that comment section.
Oh my
That's crazy.
gosh,
That's
no.
wild. But I'm sorry.
We do
go
not.
ahead.
Okay. Let me say this: we at the Week Zero podcast do not condone what is
what
going on.
Mike says. Michael does not speak for us.
We do
Oh,
not
man.
condone
Here at
any
the
of
Week
the
Zero
actions that are
podcast,
taking
we do
place.
not condone the absolute bullying of anyone else in our comment
Right.
section, but
I
we
condone
do enjoy it, so keep on.
I condone it 100%. Hey,
Right.
you know what? I'm gonna take a shot from Michael real quick for the boy.
Hold on, I'll do it with you.
R.I.P. to this comment section.
Comment section right here.
Shot for
Hey,
Michael.
let's do
Cheers.
it.
Hey, don't forget
Okay.
to like and subscribe.
Oh no. Anyway,
Please
last
like and
week.
subscribe.
Like
Bring
and
you more of this
guys.
madness.
Are we going to
Um,
have Michael
oh.
on?
Would you like to give your thoughts on on Ohio State's?
No, but
schedule?
no.
No, Lucas.
no, no.
Lucas
Lucas
To move
wasn't-
forward, though, I will say, looking at their schedule, they do have a trap game, and I think that's against Wisconsin in Madison.
Yeah. Coming off Penn State.
Coming off Penn State, which is going to be a crazy freaking game, electric game,
Can't wait.
and then having to go to Madison to play Wisconsin. I think it's going to be a tough game. And then obviously, I mean, playing Wisconsin away and Notre Dame away and Michigan away, that's rough. I think their floor is probably 9-3, but I have them at 11-1.
I'm gonna go with the man. I wish that Notre Dame and the other state could lose that September matchup.
He just wants a meteor to hit the stadium.
I don't want anybody to die. I don't want
Final
anybody
score
to die.
5-3.
Show up all of a
Right.
sudden.
So, but I do think, okay,
Hey,
that
how
Notre
about
Dame game is going to say a lot about what's going to happen with the other state. And they're breaking in a new quarterback. They do have the weapons. We know that on the outside. The offensive line, I think there's questions. I'm going to pick Notre Dame to win that game at Notre Dame.
Who's their QB?
All right, Phil.
It's going to be Kyle McCord.
Yeah.
I'm going to pick Notre Dame to win that game begrudgingly because I don't like picking Notre Dame to do anything. But I'm going to pick them to win that game. I think the Maryland game is going to be tough, especially if they lose to Notre Dame. Now, granted, they will have a bye week in between that. I'm going to go ahead and let them clear Maryland. I think Penn State, I have no faith in Franklin, especially in Ohio Stadium. I'm going to give them that win. I agree with Lucas that Wisconsin is a trap game. That could be the second loss. And then we obviously are going to wipe the floor with them in the big house. 9-3, Ohio State.
Mm-hmm. All right. I know what I'm going to say is controversial. I just want you guys to hold on for the ride. Okay? 11-1. Ohio State loses to the Western Kentucky Hilltoppers. Now, hear me out. Hear me out. All right? WKU Hilltoppers, they got themselves one hell of a long snapper. And they've got a really, really, really good mascot.
All right.
I don't think you understand. All
Just
right,
a
what is
red
Brutus?
blob.
He's an acorn. All right, this guy's the top of a hill. Okay, all right, I'm done. I'm done joking around. I got 9-3, losing to Notre Dame, losing to Penn State, and losing to the Wolverines. Now, I think that this is going to be a step backwards for Ohio State, and I think Ohio State fans are going to think that the sky is falling. You're going to see a lot of fire our head coach kind of stuff going on because they're ridiculous people. They don't understand logic or how football works. So honestly, I'm hoping for 9-3. I could see 10-2 realistically. Toughest game at Michigan. They're dropping that one because they're butter soft. Next, go ahead, Ryan.
I'll go last, so go ahead, Connor.
Okay, Connor.
11-1, only loss at Michigan. They're gonna beat Notre Dame. That's what I'm gonna.
So, okay, go ahead.
Not just
Connor.
beat them. Beat
By
them.
the way, Connor,
Even
really
though
quick.
I would want to rush the field, I know Ryan on the drive home would be beyond pissed and will be doing shoulda, coulda, woulda the entire time.
I'm not looking forward to that.
I think seeing Notre Dame lose that game would be glorious, and I will.
Josh, we're gonna be so smashed we won't even remember.
No, I'm the designated driver because I don't drink, so I'll be recording the whole time. The two of you being drunk out of your mind while Ryan is like trying to get on the field to fight McCourt because he just beat Notre Dame.
Okay, hold on a minute, real quick. Just for everybody in the comments, me, Connor, Josh, and Lucas are all going to be doing a Week Zero podcast live from South Bend. We're going to be going to the Notre Dame Ohio State game. We're actually sitting
I
on
gotta
the
be tuned into
50-yard
that
line.
one.
So we will be storming the field if it happens. But
what we definitely need to do is we definitely need to get like a camera or record the game or have one of us record the game and stuff and edit together.
Maybe our reactions
for a video
would be
reaction.
better. Yeah,
for a video for the show. We definitely need to do that.
But really quick, let me say this. So I'll get into mine. I'll do you one better, Josh.
Okay.
Because Ohio State fans, I thought Notre Dame fans were delusional. Okay, Notre Dame fans are delusional.
You weren't
Ohio
wrong.
State fans take delusional to a different level. The stuff on Twitter, I'm sure Phil has seen it as well. Kyle McCord is better than CJ Stroud and is the best Ohio State quarterback ever.
He's never
evidently,
taken a
and
snap.
He's never. No, he has against Akron.
He played.
He
played against
Oh,
Akron.
that's right.
He's a
He
top
really
5
tore those
quarterback.
zips up, didn't he?
Weren't they saying that for Ever or Quinn Ewers when he was at Ohio State? He was the best quarterback ever.
And they're saying that Kyle McCord is already a top 5 quarterback in college football based off of his performance against Akron. So let's talk about Ohio State fans for a second, and then I'll do you one better, Josh. I got Ohio State going 8-4. They lose.
Wow.
That's just hatred right there.
I need to hear this.
Explain it.
That's terrible.
That's terrible.
Does he have
Hold on a minute.
same Maryland, Penn State, and Michigan?
No, you guys will find out who the fourth loss is. So they obviously lose to Notre Dame.
Youngstown State.
They lose.
They
at
come
Michigan.
in with that loss to
They
the
lose.
Hilltoppers.
They lose to Penn State, and then they lose to the Youngstown State Penguins.
Oh my God.
Did LA give up too much to get a guy who has been labeled soft, although he puts up?
Dude, we need to cut down. We need to cut
We
down
need to
that.
cut that one down big time.
But
Oh, it's so good too. I wanted to say,
but
stay
no,
off the weed.
I'm joking. No, seriously. 9-3, 9-3, 10-2 for me.
You definitely need to.
9-3, 10-2.
Okay.
Oh my God, that is too funny.
Yeah. Okay.
Excellent.
interesting.
Let's move
Very
on.
interesting.
Yeah, let me.
The other state 9-3 or 10-2, and they're going to be crying.
so if
and they're
they
gonna
go-
be so upset
So if they lose to Michigan again, right?
when they lose to Michigan again.
When they lose to Michigan again, is Ryan
get
Day on the
fired.
hot seat?
For sure.
Yes.
I think Ryan
Even if
Day.
they're
even at-
11-1 and they.
Yeah.
This is going to be beautiful because if they lose to Notre Dame, that seat is going to be ablaze. And then if they lose that last game after losing to Notre Dame, he's going to be fully engulfed.
Their fan base is
That is going to be the hottest seat in the Big
That is
Ten
fucking
for
hilarious.
no reason. For
Yeah.
no reason.
really
Yeah.
quick. Youngstown State,
Depends.
the Penguins.
Penguins.
The Penguins. Oh man, we
There's
gotta
not a
love some
penguin in
Penguins.
Ohio, and they're
Hold on.
There's
He
not a
said
penguin.
Ohio State loses to Notre Dame and Michigan, and it's going to be just someone else. Doesn't matter to me. Just someone's going to beat them.
Youngstown
someone,
State, man.
someone out there.
Wow.
Okay.
Another team that Oregon beat last time they played them.
Keep rolling this out, man. You're
Beat
gonna
them
hate
in the
this
horseshoe too.
one.
Yeah.
With
Hey,
Anthony Brown, who threw,
that.
I'm pretty sure he threw like
Ravens
37%
Ravens,
completion percentage. It was terrible.
Ravens
Yeah, you
legend.
didn't beat him by throwing the ball.
Yeah, that's fair. CJ Verdell went crazy. Penn State. So starting out here, I think it's going to be an exact replica of what happened last year. They lose to Ohio State and Michigan and run the table throughout everybody else.
I think they lose to Delaware because
they're basically Michigan, but a
Fighting
lighter
Joe
blue.
Flacco's.
They're a lighter blue.
They are a lighter
They got
blue.
They got the same helmets, but they're a
They're
lighter
gonna
blue.
think they're Michigan.
right.
They're actually yellow, not maize. That's why they're different.
That blue is also a lot brighter too.
Yeah, I have them losing their 2 toughest games. I do think they can beat Ohio State. I don't think there's a chance in hell they beat Michigan. I think their best chance to beat Michigan was last season. Yeah, so much of the same.
So I think they obviously lose those 2 games. I think at Maryland it's going to be tricky for Penn State as well, but I think they go 10-2. much like Lucas. That being said, I don't think they have a chance at Ohio State. I think Franklin is completely shook of those Buckeye helmets, and they're going to lose bad. Before Fox messed up what would have been a whiteout game against Michigan at 7:30 and chose to have that game be at noon, I was most worried about Penn State this year. Now it looks like we're going to play them for big noon, and we're going to win that game. It's just that simple. We're going to win.
What is Rutgers?
They're not in
the whiteout game.
I think it may be Iowa, although that's really early in the season, so it could be.
Well, no, it already says
8 p.m.
CBS.
That's crazy.
Yeah, it looks like the whiteout.
Yeah, so that looks like it's gonna be it. So I think with and here's the thing, Fox did this and they really messed up NBC, because NBC now has the Michigan. They have the Little Bro versus the other state game, which Little Bro is gonna get destroyed in prime time.
Yes.
And that's gonna be disgusting. Nobody's gonna watch that game after the first quarter. So they had an opportunity. NBC had an opportunity, but Fox gets right of like first refusal or something like that. So
okay. All right. I'm going to go on and agree with 10-2. I mean, that's just how I look at this schedule. Possibly a scare at Maryland, so maybe a 9-3 seed. But what's really going to trip them up is West Virginia that first week. They got the same colors as Michigan. It's terrifying. Then they played Delaware. It's got the same helmet scheme as Michigan. That's really scary.
Hey, man, it's gold. It's gold,
really
not maize.
No, yeah, you're right. They get down to middle of November, and then they're just going to be so surprised. Oh, we already played you all. What's going on?
Wait, really quick. Can we talk about the fact that either Delaware or Michigan copied each other's helmet schemes?
Well, it's definitely really Delaware color copied us.
Like Delaware.
For sure.
I got you. But 10-2 losses to Michigan and Ohio State. Like I said, I could see another loss somewhere at Maryland or Iowa coming to them. But it looks like the Iowa game is going to be a whiteout game. It's going to be a hard game for Iowa to win. So, 10-2. What do you think, Brian?
Let's see here. I got 10-2 as well, but they're not the games you think. So I have them losing to Michigan, although I do think that game is – well, we'll get into it when we talk about Michigan, but I think they lose at Maryland. It's in between Ohio State and Michigan, and it's also right after Indiana, and I think they're probably going to blow the water out of Indiana. I think they beat Ohio State. I think they lose to Maryland on the road because it's the week before Michigan. They're probably going to overlook Maryland. So I think they'll have 10-2 with losses to Maryland and Michigan. Toughest game, obviously, is Michigan. Easiest game, Rutgers. And then I think trap games at Illinois.
I think 10-2, and like I said, I think, like I was saying with Maryland, they always have that game every year where they come really close, and I think it could be this one against Penn State. Pulling that upset potentially, we'll just have to wait and see. But I think 10-2 is a good spot for them. I just want to quickly get this on, so let's just kind of speed up a little bit. What the hell?
And then, Phil, once we get done with the conference predictions, we're going to do really quick. Can't pick the same player, but we each have to pick one player that is a potential Heisman candidate from the conference. Okay. Who our conference championship is between, who wins. And, yeah, that's pretty much it.
All right.
So if somebody takes J.J. McCarthy, you can't say J.J. McCarthy.
Right.
Phil's going to call him now.
I think Phil should pick somebody not from Michigan. I think that's
I feel like
yes, pick someone not from Michigan. Yes.
Nobody not from Michigan has a
You
chance.
can't.
Not joking. All right.
All right.
Okay.
Purdue, the Purduekies. I got 7-5.
They beat Virginia. They don't beat Virginia Tech. I was about to say they beat Virginia Tech.
I do have them beating Virginia Tech. I'm sorry.
Yeah, but beat Virginia Tech, damn you.
That was a tough game for me. I do think Virginia Tech is going to be a lot better this year, but Purdue is just they're tougher. I'm sorry, but they're just tougher. They're going to get it done. The one, because Purdue always has like the one upset every single year, and the one upset for me, and we'll get to it more later, I think is going to be Wisconsin. Because I do think Wisconsin is going to be really good. But that's their one upset. Losses to Syracuse, Iowa, Ohio State, Michigan, and Minnesota. Obviously, the rest are wins. Just kind of a blah season for Purdue.
I agree. I think they go. Actually, I disagree. I think they go 5-7.
Okay.
I have them
No Aiden
losing.
O'Connell.
I have them losing to Virginia Tech. I have them losing to Wisconsin, Illinois, Iowa.
Aiden O'Connell's gone, by the way, Lucas.
The other
That's why I said no Aiden O'Connell.
No O'Connell, no Brom or Grom, whatever his name is.
No best
Brom, he went to Louisville.
Brom. There you go. Right.
Charlie Jones.
Where did that Tyson guy go? Is he still there? The receiver.
Tyson.
I think he went to Louisville too. Am I
Yeah,
wrong?
I think he did.
Purdue lost their.
I got them losing. I got them losing
and
8
head
games
coach.
in a row in the middle of the season. So there's that.
Oh, from what? Like Virginia Tech down?
Virginia
From
Tech
Virginia
down
Tech
to
down.
all the way
Are
to
you talking
North.
about Purdue or are you talking about a different team?
No, talking about Purdue, Virginia Tech, all the way to Northwestern. So I don't have them winning 5 games.
Wow.
4-8.
Do I have something different? Oh, I did have them winning. I had them beating Syracuse. But take that out of there now. They're just going to lose a lot as well.
They're just going to lose a lot.
I mean, they. Okay.
I think they can win the last 2 games on their schedule.
Mm-hmm. All right, so I'm going to go on and agree with Phil there. I got 4-8 or 5-7.
Dang.
What's going on, Lucas?
No, Brady Allen. He's just a big fucking dude.
Okay. All right,
From
cool.
Purdue. He's from Purdue. He's a quarterback from Purdue. He went to Louisville.
I believe it. So, yeah, I just don't see him doing much. They lost a lot in the offseason. You're going to have a first-year coach. You're going to have a lot of question marks around the Purdue offense. They're not going to be who they were last year, the year before that. And they were, kind of middle-of-the-road teams back then. So, yeah, I'm just going to say 4-8. Yeah, 4-8. We're not sniffing a bowl game this year. Sorry, Purdue. And Ryan is gone. Connor,
Ryan
you want
is
to?
gone.
Okay, I will go.
I'm here.
Here.
I'm here.
I'm gonna say 2-10, and they don't win a game until Northwestern, and then they beat Northwestern in Indiana.
It's Purdue. Yeah.
I got.
It's
So-
Purdue.
This is Notre Dame's little Bronem in state. Purdue do. So I got them going 3-9. I don't have them winning a game until Jesus Christ, they actually may not win a game.
They play Northwestern and Indiana.
Northwestern.
Actually, I'm gonna screw that. I'm going 1-11. I don't think they win one game. That's at Northwestern. I think they're gonna lose to Fresno State.
Yeah,
They're the 4th best team in Indiana. Is that what I'm hearing? Gonna put
We
Indiana.
already know
I think that
all
puts
state
him.
the state of
I think
Indiana
I
is.
think 111 puts him at the best team in Indiana, doesn't it?
Ooh.
Okay.
All
And
right,
there's another
Rutgers.
team that Virginia Tech plays back to back.
Wait, Lucas,
Yeah,
I thought Ball
Rutgers.
State was the best team in the state of Indiana.
They are.
No,
They
Ball State
always
is.
will
Yeah.
be. They always will be.
Fighting
Rutgers.
David Letterman.
Rutgers, I have at 3-9. I do have them losing to Virginia Tech. There you go, Connor. Their only wins being Northwestern, Temple, and Wagner. I don't really know much about Temple. I do know that I swear they lose like half their team in the transfer portal every year. So I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing. But yeah, 3-9.
Their starting quarterback for Temple is the former Georgia quarterback that had the brain surgery.
Oh wow.
Oh really?
Yeah.
More power to him. I agree completely this time with Lucas. I think we have the same wins. I think they have obviously the same record because they have the same wins. I think they give Lil Bro and them all they can handle and then lose anyway because they're going to be pretty bad too. But not a lot of wiggle room on the schedule. They're going to lose a lot.
Well, they might beat Indiana.
They might.
Yeah, they might.
That might be a win.
But I'm in complete agreement. There's really not much else to say. Is there a Rutgers football fan to disagree? I don't hear anybody, so I think we're all right.
I'm going 2-10 for Rutgers. I'm not too sure that they beat the mighty Wagner Seahawks. The
best Seahawks in all of football.
Yeah, exactly. 2-10 for Rutgers.
Give me. It's gonna be a repeat of last year. 5-7 actually. Give me wins against Northwestern, Temple, Wagner, Michigan State, and Indiana, and then they don't win.
Wagner went 1-10 last year.
Yeah, so give me 5-7. They were 5-6 going into the game.
Moose agrees exactly with you.
They were 2 years ago. I think they were like 5-6 going into the last game of the season against Maryland, and then they lost, and Maryland made a bowl game because of it. So
I think you guys are on to something. They have a really good young running back too. So maybe they can eke out 5.
Yeah.
Okay.
Hopefully we're wrong.
But yeah. And then Wisconsin, and then we got Michigan after that.
Ooh, we're gonna be ready.
Hopefully all the people that left, because we were up to like 35 and now we're down to like 18 or something.
Oh damn it!
Wisconsin. That's all right. We're getting to it. Wisconsin. We had that drive.
This is gonna be a 100 view video for sure.
Wisconsin 100 view video right here. Wisconsin
100. Let's go.
So as I talked about earlier, I do think Purdue gets that one like crazy weird win, and that's against Wisconsin. But Ohio State is the only other team I see them losing to. I do think that, and we'll get into this later, I do think that Wisconsin wins the West, goes 10-2. They actually have a really – if you look at go on 247 and look at their transfers, they have like 14 transfers in, which is ridiculous, including some really good receivers, and then Tanner Mordecai, who's been in college football for 70 years. He's probably going to be
Bo Nix.
Almost as long as Bo Nix, baby. Yeah, I think Tanner Mordecai is probably going to be their starting quarterback this year, if I had to guess. And I think they're going to be decent, and 10-2 is my score prediction.
So I do think they're going to be decent. I'm not as friendly as Lucas.
Wait, really quick before Phil goes, is Cameron Ward still at Washington State?
Yes, he is.
Okay.
He was a sophomore last year. Yeah, sophomore.
Okay. All right.
Let's go, Phil. I'm not going to be as friendly. I think they go 8-4. I think they start by winning the first 5 games on their schedule. I have Iowa winning the West. So I think they lose Iowa, and that starts a 3-game losing streak up until Indiana, although I did just say they would beat Ohio State during that other state outlook. But I do think Ohio State's going to win that game. So there's that. And then they win the last 2 on the schedule, 8-4. Luke Fickell gets off to a decent start.
Well, that's where he is now.
Yeah. I think Luke Fickell does get off to a decent start, and I agree with 8-4. I do see them doing really well at the beginning of the season, up until that Iowa game. I think they're going to lose to Iowa. Iowa could beat them twice, and they could lose to Illinois as well, lose to Ohio State. And then those last 2 games could be 50-50 games. They could. I
can tell you right now that Washington State is not. Washington State.
Oh no,
I'm
not giving them Washington State. That could be a loss as well.
That other Jason is, but Washington State is not good. Like they had a good start to their season last year, but they ended I think they ended 7-6. They're not a good team.
Okay.
I think Washington State's a good team. I think Cameron Ward is the real deal. I think Wazoo is going to be a real contender in the Pac-12.
Wazoo Pac-12 champ.
No, I'm not saying
Stay
Pac-12
off.
champs. I think they're
Stay
going
off the weed, brother.
Yeah, no.
What are you talking about?
Did you guys not see what Cameron Ward did last year?
Yeah, we destroyed his whole life. He was beating us like 20 points the whole
he
game.
should have beat y'all, and then they gave up a big lead.
Yeah, and then what happened the rest of the season? He lost like 6 more games. He was
They were
terrible.
all competitive.
Ask a Washington fan.
That's just like.
But
Nebraska
anyway, I got Wisconsin going 8-4 with losses to Washington State, Illinois, Ohio State, and Iowa. Georgia Southern game.
No.
Oh, we
We
lost
lost
Phil.
Phil.
We lost Phil.
Right before we're going to do Michigan too.
He'll be back.
He'll be back. But Georgia Southern, Wisconsin lost to them last year, I believe, in double overtime. Georgia Southern.
They have a much different team. Their quarterback.
No.
is
I know,
not
but Georgia
Graham.
Southern is really good. They're one of the best teams in the Sun Belt. I think they went 9-3 last year. Van Treese is their quarterback. He's really good. Trap game for me is Georgia Southern.
We just got to remember that Graham Mertz is not the quarterback of Wisconsin anymore, guys.
He's going to be the starting quarterback of the Gators.
Graham Mertz
still in college?
Yes.
Yeah, he's the
Starting quarterback for
Gators.
Florida.
Oh my God, I feel so bad for Florida fans now.
Somebody
Florida's
said something
not
about
gonna be okay
like
this
Graham
year.
Mertz. Somebody said Graham Mertz was like compared to some crazy good quarterback. I can't remember who it is. I got to see the article, but
Ooh.
No lube.
There
That was
it is.
very descriptive.
with no lube, sandpaper.
All
Yeah.
right.
Give me 8-4, I guess.
Forward.
Oh,
I don't
man.
know. I'm just trying to let's just wrap this up. I'm not going to go any.
Let's get to what the people want to see.
Let's go.
Shots
Let's go
to
to what
people.
people wanted.
Let's give them
which
what they
is-
want.
And Phil goes last.
It is perfect. We can start with
Phil
me
goes
and then we can
last.
go up. Yep, Phil's last.
Excellent.
Phil is last. I'll go first.
Okay, yeah,
Connor.
go ahead.
Okay,
Oh man, those Pirates.
man, you have such an easy non-conference. What the
Don't do
What
that.
a nice
Don't do that.
roll into
That's
the
literally
season.
Michigan every year.
Easy
Like,
isn't
it's
the
like looking
right
at-
word.
Nice, easy.
It's like I'm looking at Alabama's schedule, playing Mercer or something.
Wait,
I
Connor,
prefer to use different. It's different.
Connor,
It's
you
different.
realize
It's
they're
I mean,
non-con
I will
last year?
admit,
There's a
I
very
know how
descriptive
difficult
word
it
for
is
this.
playing against East Carolina at home.
It-
I've seen them beat Virginia Tech in person,
it-
which was not fun.
It's
So
called
Right,
favorable.
that's a tough game.
It's a
Connor.
favorable season.
Well, I mean, what worse is that was the year we came off of beating Ohio State at Ohio State, and then we're ranked like 17th, and then we spot them at 21 lead and lose.
Connor, we're also forgetting that this team's non-con last year was UConn, Hawaii.
UConn made a bowl last year. UConn
Colorado State, Hawaii, and UConn was their non-con.
Oh my god, that was funny. Okay,
Hawaii
All right,
wanted to get off
Connor,
that
what do you think? What do you think, buddy?
11-1 and they lose to Maryland. I don't know. I'm just kidding. I don't know. 11-1 and they lose to either Penn State or maybe Ohio State.
I'm not mad at it.
Ryan.
All right, Ryan.
Who's going next?
I'll go
Ryan.
ahead. So for me, I got 12-0, but I could see them going 11-1. The one loss would either be at Penn State or Maryland. Probably Penn State because that's probably going to be the whiteout game. But realistically, they're going to go undefeated. So 12-0 for me, for Michigan. I think their toughest game is at Penn State. Their easiest game is against Rutgers, and the trap game is at Maryland.
Mm-hmm. All right. Lucas, you want to go? Then I'll go. Then Phil.
I mean, Josh, you can go because I know my answer is the same as Phil's.
My gosh. All right. I got him going 12-0. We know that Penn State game is not going to be.
Toledo.
I grew up in Maryland.
He grew up there.
I grew up in Maryland. And I was
No, I think they're talking about me.
So
you? I don't know.
Yeah,
all right. So I got him 12-0. Some trap games at Maryland. That's kind of it. They have a pretty favorable schedule. I'm not going to say it's easy because it's ridiculous, but you know.
Go. You know what, Josh?
The
fighting UNLV Rebels are a really scary team.
7, 8. The Bowling Green Falcons. I mean,
that's a very scary team, Josh.
No. What we call this is a favorable schedule. They're going to march right through all the way to the bye week. They're going to slap the crap out of Lil Bro right beforehand. They're gonna take their will to live. Honestly, they're gonna warm up with Purdue. Remind Penn State why they're not the top 2 teams in the Big Ten. They're going to play around with Maryland. They're not gonna.
That's terrible.
They're not gonna beat them like they should. And they're just going to push Ohio State around because we already know is that the big noon kickoff? That is the big noon kickoff.
That's the big noon.
So
kickoff.
I was wrong.
Why is the big game never a night game?
Because it's big noon kickoff on Fox.
Well, Fox is the reason.
That should be the evening game on ESPN or Fox.
All right, Lucas.
I will go. I was trying to make this a lot cooler, but I don't know where the next year's national championship is. I'm pretty sure it's in Inglewood, California, but I think that might have been where the last one was. I have Michigan going 14-1 overall.
Oh, quit it.
And I have them losing to the mighty Oregon Ducks in the national championship.
Okay.
Cut the show off.
Oh, no. Anyway, last week.
The national championship in Houston. I see Oregon traveling down to Houston and beating that ass for the 3rd straight time. But I do have them winning all of their games up to that point. I think Michigan is by far and away the best team in the Big Ten, and I do not think it's even close this year.
Lucas, really quick, I hope you know that this comment section is about to go full frontal on you.
Oh, that's fine. That's totally fine. That's totally fine. I mean, they can just look at. I mean, they can just look. That's totally fine. That's it's okay. They can just look at the last 2 times they've faced off against each other in their last series. I mean, Oregon beats the hell out of Michigan State, and Michigan. So it is what it is. Went to the big house. Went to the big house. Dennis Dixon made them look funny. It is what it is. But anyways, I do think Michigan is by far and away the best team in the Big Ten. I don't think it's close. I think their toughest game this year is going to be at Penn State, even though it is a big noon kickoff game. I see that being their closest game, but I still think it might be like a 10 plus point victory for Michigan. All right, go ahead, Phil. I said I said my piece.
Hail to the victors, valiant hell. All right. This is easy for me. I'm not upset. We're going 12-0 in this regular season. All right. We're gonna start with that tough game against the Pirates. Right.
They can be tough, and
it's gonna be tricky. I think they'll score. I think they'll score at least one touchdown.
I think they're the same.
I'm gonna have to flame this kid real quick because Oregon has beat Utah and USC the last time they played both of them. So I just don't understand what he's talking about. But
Lucas, that comment section on you and Bill's Mad Week.
Carolina is in the same conference as App State, so obviously that's some PTSD right there.
Yeah.
Phil, Lucas put in our group chat a screenshot of the comment section of you guys' last show.
Oh yeah.
And one of the guys said, "Phil, I really like this guy. You vibe better than him than the Notre Dame guy that you do your other show with. But I really like his takes. They are gonna refer so quick on you, Luke."
I gotta get the clip of the Dennis Dixon Statue of Liberty.
Oh man.
All right.
I think the trap game is Maryland. I agree with everyone there. It's at Maryland. I will be at that game. And we better not lose. Ohio State, we're just gonna take their lunch money like we have the last couple of years. And poor little bro them. I don't know what's gonna happen to them after we do what we're gonna do to them.
I'm telling you right now, Phil, what you guys will do to them might make them withdraw.
Right,
playing NCAA football.
They'll be an independent.
You'll be posting on Pornhub for 2 weeks.
They're gonna take USC's. They're gonna take USC's spot in the Pac-12.
That might be a good option for them.
Hey, you know what, Phil? They actually might relocate to Rome.
Right.
To go be with the rest of the Spartans.
Go be with the rest of them. Okay, so that's.
Wait, Heisman Trophy winners and then conference championship predictions.
We'll finish top.
I'll go.
2 or 3.
I'll go first. I'll go first, and this goes with my Wisconsin pick. I think that Tanner Mordecai is going to have a very, very good season this year. And I think he's going to be maybe not a Heisman contender. I don't really know if there's going to be a Heisman contender out of the Big Ten. Maybe one guy that I think Phil might pick next if we're giving him Michigan.
We're not. He has to go.
He has to go other way.
Okay. I think one of the guys that I'm thinking of is he was obviously a Heisman finalist last year, but I'm going with Tanner Mordecai.
Go ahead, Josh.
Oh God.
We'll go Phil last.
Okay. I think that the Heisman Trophy winner is probably going to come out of the Pac-12 this year. That's just what I think.
It's not going to be Sam Hartman?
Huh?
It definitely ain't going to be Sam Hartman.
No, probably not. My God, Connor. Hey, easy there.
I didn't do anything. Was I massive there for a second?
Yes. Oh, yes, you were.
My computer is so laggy that half the time when you do the oh no and the other stuff, it doesn't actually play for me for some damn reason.
Oh,
So I see on the
we
screen
need
now.
to do a better computer. Yeah, man. Just you know what? Let's pick something out of left field. Who's the quarterback for Iowa?
That's a good question.
Let's pick. I'll
Kate
just name the
McNamara,
position.
baby.
Kate.
Oh, yeah, it is. That's
That's right. Give it to him.
Give him the Heisman Trophy. All right,
Yeah,
I'll go next.
He's
Well,
going to
you just
have
ruined my
400
other
yards a
pick.
game.
400 a game.
I'll go with
touchdowns.
my Heisman pick, and I might be the only one that goes with a running back here. Nick Singleton, running back for Penn State.
That's not a bad pick.
He's my Heisman guy coming out of the Big Ten.
Solid.
I already yelled it, but give me Tualia Tagovailoa. I think it's going to be either 1 or 2 in passing yards.
Talking the violent guy?
Huh?
Well, we all have
Violent.
Michigan winning the Big Ten, but none of us took Michigan guys, even though.
Is Corum still there?
Yeah, Corum's still there.
Okay, then also Corum, I guess. He's probably going to be the best running back in the conference. So
I meant Nick Singleton.
Yeah.
So I was gonna, if I couldn't pick a Michigan guy, I was gonna pick Kate McNamara. Obviously that's been taken. I was going to then pick Tua or Tuluia.
Tualia.
There you go.
Tualia, turn the ball over.
Right. So because I can't pick any of those, give me Marvin Harrison.
Oh yeah.
It's unlikely a wide receiver wins it, but he's pretty good.
Yeah.
All right, and then conference championship predictions and who wins.
Conference championship prediction. I have 12-0 Michigan taking on 10-2 Wisconsin, and I have a 21 plus victory for Michigan in the conference.
Oh,
Go ahead, Josh.
I hate. Fine. 12-0 Michigan, and I'm gonna have 10-2 Wisconsin in there as well. I'm gonna have Michigan winning it by more than 2 touchdowns, but less than 3.
I got 12-0 Michigan versus 9-3 Iowa. Cade McNamara gets his chance for a revenge game, but sadly, it's not going to happen. Michigan will do what they did to Iowa this past year and just absolutely drag them through the mud, so to speak. Those Hawkeyes will be grounded. So, yeah.
Yeah. 12-0 Michigan versus, I think I said, what did I say? I can't even remember what I said for Wisconsin or Iowa. One of those 2 teams probably coming out of the West. The West is very clearly always going to be the weakest in the conference. So it doesn't really matter. Michigan's going to win.
Yep. I got 12-0 Michigan versus 10-2 Iowa. Again, it'll be poetic. Unfortunately, it will not be justice because what Michigan's going to do to Iowa.
It'll be bittersweet for you because you're going to see Cade do some stuff in that game where you'll be like, man, I wish he could have done that for us. And then you'll be like, I feel so bad for Cade.
I think they may be close at halftime.
I think also in that game, Cade might actually try to do too much. Like, be like, oh, I'm facing the guy that took my job. Yeah, be like, oh, I'm better than JJ. Sorry, man, you're not.
So one thing I don't know about the Big Ten championship game, is it played on a neutral site or is it played on
Indiana?
Lucas Oil.
Yeah.
Lucas Oil.
Yeah, it's played at Lucas Oil. It's always played there. Yeah.
Oh, that stadium
all the Power 5 and most of even the group of 5s usually have neutral site games for the champion.
Yeah.
We should play it in Detroit.
Yeah.
Sure, that's very neutral. I'm just surprised they haven't tried to put it like MetLife or something. You know what I mean? Like that's in their market and that's like a bigger
Well, now with USC and UCLA, we might be playing in the Coliseum.
Yeah, maybe.
No, that's not.
Take it from them. No.
SoFi
or the Rose Bowl.
Right.
You might as well call the Big Ten championship the Rose Bowl at that point.
Right.
Dude, it'll be interesting to see how they also
I
reorganize.
mean, it basically is because, like, I swear every single time the Big Ten wins that fucking thing.
It'll also be interesting to see
When we add Oregon and Washington, we can definitely have it there.
It'll be interesting to see who they add from the West to the East when USC and UCLA come in, because obviously they'll be joining the West. So I wonder who's going to.
I think they'll be joining the West, and I think the once Oregon and Washington joins, they'll be joining the East.
Really?
They'll just have them.
I think so.
They'll just have.
I think so.
I think they'll get rid of divisions. I think they'll get rid of divisions when they.
Or they'll change it to like North,
no.
or something.
The Big Ten is getting rid of divisions once USC and UCLA join next year.
They need to just get rid of like Rutgers and Northwestern.
Just kick them out. Let them know.
They really need to get rid of some of them. I mean, like.
So you know what? Can we just get a conference of like just 4 teams? Just have
put
like
Northwestern in the Ivy League.
No,
they're pretty.
Take Cal, Stanford, Northwestern, and what was the other one? Rutgers, and put them in the Ivy League. Ivy League might be stacked. Northwestern actually might get like 5 or 6 conference championships in the Ivy League.
Stanford would win that every time. It would not be close.
Year.
It wouldn't be close. Anyways,
cool.
Take us out, Connor.
Wrap her out.
This has been a very long show, but we appreciate Phil being here. We appreciate everyone that has been
everyone stopping in
the entire time. This is probably
and please, for the love of God,
like and subscribe.
If you guys loved what you guys saw here, obviously, like I said, Phil can vouch for us all the time. If you like what Lucas says, a lot of these guys like that Lucas is funny. Go over to Week Zero Productions on YouTube. Give us a like. Give us hit that subscribe button. We go live every Friday. Going to start pushing out team-specific, player-specific videos. We just hired a new editor.
Attack for team-specific.
So we just hired a new editor. So we'll be pumping those videos out. I'm going to be doing a JJ McCarthy video. So, Phil, I'm sure we'll promote that.
Bro, I need a 30-second. I just need 30 seconds of Michigan stuff to go with this thing that I've created.
Yes, I got you. But like I said, we just hired a new editor, so we got it.
We appreciate all the people that were here. We are up to like 35, which I think is probably the most we've ever had.
Just show Jim Harbaugh walking out the tunnel or something. 30 seconds.
We'll do it.
All right.
All right, man. Hey, I appreciate you guys.
Yeah, of course. We appreciate it, man. We love you. We enjoy having you.
Anytime, bro.
And so for Phil, for Lucas, for Josh, for Ryan, and for me, for your host Connor, has been the podcast. We will be back next week with the Pac-12 prediction show. I'm trying to see if we can get Blake, and we'll go from there, Matt. Have a great day, guys, and thanks for watching.